Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Titans, Season 1, Episode 5, Together. So this was a pretty good episode, especially coming out of the last episode going into this one. This one really kind of gets that momentum coming back up again. So starting from the very beginning where Dr. Adamson, I think was his name, where he's once again cooking in the kitchen, making eggs, but this time it actually had like a partially formed chicken in there, which there's a term, it's like balut or something. There's a term for that, and like people actually eat it that way. So it was kind of interesting and gross to watch him mix it in together. Dick flirting with the hotel manager, or actually vice versa, she was kind of flirting with him, was a little nauseating. I was like, nope, not today. And of course it ends up coming back, which you know it would. So I like how they decide to form an alliance, because at this point, like this whole first season is them just kind of coming together. So they're not a team yet. They're not Teen Titans. They're not whatever. They're not Young Justice. They're just kind of together because they all have a common enemy at this point. So it's kind of interesting. And we kind of watch all of them do their own thing. So like Corey absorbs heat from the sun and she can kind of redirect it a little bit, but she's weaker at night. Gar, has to be naked to transform, and he can only transform into a tiger. Where, once again, like, this show is all about, like, brutal violence and swearing, but they shy away from the nudity. Like, Ryan Potter's already shown what he's got. It's all over the internet. Like, I don't understand why they just kind of shy away from it, because I was kind of expecting, once again, him to, like, and it seems like they always do that. Anytime we see Beast Boy, there's always that one scene where he transforms back and he's naked, and people are like, what are you doing? And he's like, oops. And sure enough, this episode has that where he stands up and everybody's like, you're naked, and he's like, oh, sorry, and he runs away. Like, I don't understand why it's like the close-up face and everything like that. I was like, I mean, we know what it looks like. Move it along. So there's that whole scene. Rachel has like the whole smoke coming out thing that she can't control, so Corey hits her with a fire blast, kind of hurts her, and it goes back, and she's like, okay, this is done. And so they're like, okay, so what do you do? And he's like, I'm going to keep you alive. So once again, the jokes never stop, where it's like, Dick will keep you alive. So it's like, oh, okay. So there's that. The nuclear family gets a new daddy, and it's really creepy. It's almost like, it reminds me of Scarecrow, because like we see him being scared, and she's like, he's seeing his worst fear. And so it's like, okay, so is this like a Scarecrow thing going on? Like, what exactly is going on? Kind of like I said with Gar, we kind of get the same thing with Brandon and with Robin, where he's in the shower and it's all about the beefcake. Like, we're just looking at this guy and he's pretty nice, and Corey seduces him, like, with Patron, and she's like, okay, so I'm just going to seduce you so you can tell me your secrets. And he's like, well, I don't have secrets. And so they just have sex. And it's like, okay, I mean, that moved quick. I know, once again, in the comics, they were in a relationship, so I don't know how far that's going to continue into this series. So it'll be really interesting. The manager shows up again, and you're just like, oh, this poor woman. And then the nuclear family finally shows up and gets their asses kicked because they are a team now. And as everybody's doing everything, Robin actually shows up. And Beast Boy's the one, of course, who knows him. And he's like, oh my god, that's Robin. Are we going to meet Batman? Can we meet Batman? And he's like, no. So there's that whole thing. Robin, or Dick, ends up going to Dr. Adamson to kind of figure out what's going on. But Dr. Adamson knows, like, the family's been captured, so he finally triggers their little head things, which is a gross scene. And of course, Corey's like, Dick's gonna blame me for this, which was just funny. I really enjoyed it. And then sure enough, as everybody's attacking Dr. Adamson and Robin, a new character shows up. I know who it is. I'm not going to ruin it. Well, I'm going to ruin it in about 10 seconds. But he just kicks ass, and he's like, oh my god, you're Dick Grayson. This is awesome. Nice to meet you. I'm the new Robin. And it's like, wow, 5 episodes in, and here we are. We already got a brand new Robin. So that's kind of interesting. It's definitely keeping its own in the continuity, because before a second Robin showed up, if I remember correctly, Dick had already taken the role of Nightwing. So it's kind of interesting that they're really doing their own thing. And I'm really enjoying it. It's really dark, it's really gritty, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think? Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for Jason Todd.